What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, now it's the time to talk about Starfield, the Starfield Direct. But first, I would like to say that thank you for everybody showing up and stuff. Also, I haven't forgot about the song. Trust me, it's coming, it's coming. I keep my word, it may be delayed, but it's coming. Also, I've been watching the internet as one does, and it is apparent to me that everyone is liking Starfield. The only people who are talking shite about Starfield are Ponies and Donkey Unicorns, who have to hate on something that Xbox has or whatever, because it's not on PlayStation. And the irony is that Sony tried to buy Starfield away, tried to buy that exclusivity, but not everyone is for sale, Sony. The loyalty that Bethesda has to Xbox and Microsoft and Phil Spencer and Todd Howard, you know what I'm saying? It's almost, it's long standing. It's like 10 years, not even 10 years, decades of loyalty and camaraderie and dealing with each other and working together. You can almost say that it's like almost organic in nature. Anyway, yeah, everything that I've heard, everybody is Starfield, even though it's 30 frames per second, no one is caring. They're like, yeah, it's 30 frames, but if it's consistent 30 frames, you see how brainwashing works? Todd Howard is so smart. He's like, yo, he's smart. He's very smart because he made, Skyrim and all these games. Also, he knows. And he's also telling the truth. So the difference between like a Todd Howard, Phil Spencer, and Jim Ryan lies through his face. And he knows he's lying. But he's just saying the things that you want to hear. Todd Howard and Phil Spencer, they say things that you want to hear, but they're telling the truth, usually. For the most part. I would say now they are, more so than before. But anyway, because there's been times. But like when he says they want consistency with the frame rate, that's why they could have been unlocked frame rate at 60 frames, blah, 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 but it wouldn't have been consistent. It would have been a horrible experience because when your frames are jumping from 30 to 60, 49, 60, like that, is garbage. It's hot trash garbage. Nobody wants that. So he's right. If it's consistent 30, solid, locked, no wavering at all throughout the whole with the battles and everything, first person, I'm sold. It's the same excuse that all these Ponies and Donkey Unicorns were talking about. Oh, Last of Us is 30 frames, it's like a film. Okay. I mean, I guess you can hide the fact that your gameplay is kind of shallow with that because it doesn't really take skill. Because if it did take skill, then you would need 60 frames to show all the skills. Because if you are unskilled at 60 versus a skilled at 60, you're gonna get got. That's how that works. So I guess at 30 is the even playing field, but still, if you're still unskilled, you're still unskilled, it's still gonna suck. Doesn't matter if it's 30 or 60. Anyway, Starfield. So I was already, before Starfield started, I was like, yo, this is the best one. Come on, son. Fable, come on, son. How can you even compete? Fable, all the games. There was one game the one where the girl, it was like kind of art styly and it was Dungeons of the something, the Math of Banfernanfer or something. Some crazy, I didn't even put it on my list. That's how unimpressed I was. It's not unimpressed, it's kind of like, that was like the weakest one out of everything. But it's probably a good game. It's just, for some reason, I don't know what happened. It kind of I missed it on the listed. But anyway, Starfield. So one thing that people are saying is that Starfield is like 5 games in one. And I was sitting there, I was thinking about it, I was like, 5 games in one, is that a plus or is that a minus? Is that a good or is that a bad? And I've come to the conclusion that it's a good, obviously, because the game isn't dictating how they want you to play it. That's how some of these developers, that's how some of their theories and how they make games. And it's kind of like Apple. Apple's like, yeah, we make the things that you don't even know that you wanted, but now you want it because we made it, or something like that. It's like, oh, this is how it is because this is how you want it to be. It's like, how you gonna tell me how I want something? Apple, Sony's the same. Sony think they Apple. Sony, they censor their games. Why would you do that if you didn't think that your audience was, I don't know, adult, mature enough to make their own decisions? You have to make the censorship decision for me, the consumer. I want to buy a game with freaking titties in it, but I can't because it's on PlayStation. So it's weird. But somebody just fell off a bike. Anyway, so they're okay. It's amazing that. But anyway, getting off topic. So 5 games in one. Literally like, yo, here's a story if you want to go that way, or here's shipbuilding if you want to go that way, or here's you find a planet and mine some resources you want to go that way, or I'm like, this game, 1,000 planets, this game. I'm like, this is gonna be my forever game. This is another Skyrim in the making. They're like, yo, we gotta do Skyrim again. Todd's like, all right, everyone, we have to do Skyrim again. You guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, yes, Toddothy, we know. Okay, so here we go. But that's my impression of Todd Howard. Thank you. It's not. I haven't tried. Anyway, like every different gamers are going to gravitate to different portions of this game. Now, I say portions. It's not separated into like different things. It's all in the game. It's just how do you go about playing the game? Like you wake up and then you have to go and then you meet the whatchamacallit, the frontier peoples or whatever they're called. And you know, it's all that stuff, right? And then there's gonna be a point where the game where it's like you can either do the story stuff, the narrative stuff, or you can just do what you want, you know? Do what you want, make some money, buy some parts, let's go. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna build some ships. I wanna see how diverse you can get with those ships. I saw the Voltron robot that they built. I was like, what? Ladies building bugs and stuff. Like, okay, y'all, all right. I wanna see how crazy it gets. And then like the whole thing with the planets, and you can build your own like colonies and stuff and like labs and stuff. I'm like, yo, can you like do a Coruscant on this? Can you like literally take a smallish planet size, maybe a moon, or maybe just a planet with a good atmosphere and some good resources, and just build a whole city covering the whole planet? That's what I want. I know somebody's gonna do that. I want to see it. I don't think I can do that. I have not that much time. I don't have that much time. I don't think I'm that committed to doing something like that. That would have to be a whole YouTube channel, like Coruscant in Starfield. Starfield Sant? That's bad. But yeah, like I'm thinking about the possibilities of the tools that they give you. It's like when you go into Forge, you could build all kind of stuff. Somebody built a freaking Toy Story level. I'm like, that's crazy. So if Starfield has a fraction of that ability to build crazy ships and build crazy bases, that's something. That sounds like something I could get into. I'll play through the story. I've always finished those. I finished Skyrim. I definitely finished Oblivion. I finished Skyrim, although I don't remember the ending. I remember I fought the dragon at the top, but that wasn't the ending. It was, anyway, it doesn't matter. And then I stopped playing. Well, I went back and I did I forgot what it was called, where you had the houses and stuff, you build the houses. I was like, this is okay. It's all right. But this seems more interesting because they show the interiors, they show the galley, you can have a little museum room, you can do all kinds of stuff. I'm like, yo, come on, son, don't dangle this yummy carrot in front of me because I'm not a pony. and it won't work. I don't know what that machine is. Anyway, it's really crazy. I mean, I can't even go into all the things that they really went into. If you got doubts about Starfield and you haven't seen the Starfield Direct, go watch the Starfield Direct. Everyone that I've known, that I've seen online, that has seen the Starfield Direct says that they were hyped for it, or they weren't hyped for it, whatever. After they saw it, they were hyped for it, and all the questions that they might have had were answered, and extra. Like, I didn't even know that that's what I wanted to do, but I definitely want to do that. Let's go. It's crazy. And the lady with the sandwiches, okay, that was pretty good too. It's people are calling this game of the generation. People are calling this thing just like the best game ever. And I'm like, am I falling for the zeitgeist, or is this the zeitgeist real? Or and then I hear, like, in France or something, the sales of the Xbox Series X went up 1,000 something percent, 1,400 something percent, or 4,000%, some thousands of percentage. I'm like, that's a lot of percentage. That's higher than like 200 or whatever, like Sony was bragging about the other month. Like, oh, 200%, yeah. Thousands of percentages. I mean, granted, it was probably selling like one a week or something. Probably wasn't selling, so that was my whole point. If you go up 1,000% from one, then it's not a big number. But still, Sony wants to play the percentage game. This is what happens. Xbox has bigger numbers, And then I talked about this yesterday. I think Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer were talking about how many users and all the money they're making and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, it's crazy. And then today I was seeing the thing about the FTC filing the block in court so that they can get a faster court date. And everybody's like, yeah, this is good for Microsoft. And it's like, yeah, because they get it done quick. So I don't know, man. It seems like a lot of crazy stuff going on with the FTC stuff. But as far as like games, Starfield, I'm looking at this generation and I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, the tables have literally turned. That last showcase that Sony showed, that was an Xbox-like, if you will. That was an Xbox-like showcase. And the showcase that Xbox showed was a PlayStation-like showcase, except Microsoft kept to what they do, which is they had original IPs, they had their old IPs, they made Fable look fabulous, better than ever. They had fun stuff in their games. Like, I don't know what it is with Sony, but I guess they got the stick is too big up their booty or something. But the Outer Worlds 2 was a hilarious trailer. It was the best trailer of that show, whatever show that was. Fable 2 or Fable is, again, the best trailer because the humor is just perfect. I don't see any trailers like that coming out of Sony. They're just like, yo, we're cool and we're bad. Look at how cool we are. I'm like, all right. Not impressed. You gotta remember, millennials and now alphas, those are your audience. Us Xers, we're like, whatever, we're setting our ways pretty much. But if you screw over your old school audience, they gonna jump ship. They don't care. Life is too short to be dealing with the foolishness, Sony. Just letting you know. They will bounce on your ass real quick. They'll be like, games of service, And it seems like Sony they're not learning from anything that's happened in the industry over the past 40 years. They're just like, we gotta make that money, right? And I'm gonna blame leadership. It's Jim Ryan's fault because he's just making the money. He just wants to make the money. He doesn't care about trends. He doesn't care about what the mistakes were made in the past. He doesn't care. He doesn't look at any of that stuff. He's just like, I know how we can make all the money. Let's do it this way. Let's charge more money. Let's da. I'm like, I'm inside of my soul, inside my chest. I'm laughing every second of every day, looking at Jim Ryan and watching these ponies squirm, watching these donkey unicorns hate what's going on with Sony. They hate it. And they're gonna cling on to Spider-Man like the webs. They're gonna cling on to it like this fresh web fluid. That's all you got. You got hopes for Wolverine. I don't think Wolverine's gonna be that good. I'm gonna be honest. Not because I'm a hater, but because if you look at the character versus Spider-Man, if you look at gameplay versus Spider-Man, Wolverine is limited. Wolverine cannot fly. He is a very heavy individual because he's made of metal, basically. He can heal. He can jump. He's pretty strong. But he is limited. He is not Spider-Man. He's not going to be flinging around the environment like Spider-Man. So I don't know what you expect Insomniac to do with that character when he's not even close to being as popular as Spider-Man or as agile as Spider-Man. I don't even know why they went for Wolverine. They should not have done that. They should have done the X-Men game or something where you could choose, the different characters and done that, because that way at least you have variety. You'd be like, I'm Storm, I can fly. Let's go. I'm Rogue, I can fly. Let's go. I'm Nightcrawler, I can bamf. Let's go. That being said, probably those characters will be in there. Probably the X-Men will be in there. I would assume so, because if you just do Wolverine, Sabretooth's got to be in there. Professor X probably going to be in there. So it's probably going to be an X-Men game, unless they're just going to do the Weapon X story or the Wolverine before he met the X-Men. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to. If you boil it down to the actual character, Wolverine is not that likable of a character. I liked him because he was cool and he had knives coming out of his fists. But as far as a character, he was chewing on his cigar. He was like, he's a cranky little Canadian dude. He's real short. That's why I liked him, because he's short. Anyway, it's just ridiculous. And like I said, I will guarantee you that Wolverine will not sell as good as Spider-Man, period. Because the IP itself is not as popular. So, people are gonna bring their kids to go see Logan. Did they? No. 1, rated R. 2, the game has to be mature, like on the edge of AO. Because if it's not, then it's not Wolverine. It's like, just take that. You just kick rocks with that, because you're gonna give me a PG-13 Wolverine. Get out of here. Come on, son. You can't do that. Anyway, tangent. Starfield's the best. It's real good. Go watch the Starfield Direct if you haven't seen it. Watch it again if you've seen it. Watch it 3 times. It's really good. That's gonna be my game. Once that comes out, I think I might buy the physical copy of that, just to be like, that's a collection game. I'm gonna just buy it because I got Game Pass, but I might just want to buy it anyway. Or maybe I'll wait until it goes on sale or something. Maybe Black Friday's, whatever. But it's worth it, because it's one of those games that is like forever and ever. Even though the disc isn't really worth anything, still, I would say that game is more finished as a going gold on disc than any other game that I know, because they've had like 2 extra years to work on it and polish it and fix it. So I would be really happy about buying that physically. But anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Let me know in the comments, y'all think Starfield is all that in the bag of shooby zabba, or what? Let me know. And I'll talk to y'all on the next one. To the wait.